that, I took some Reiki classes from her in last April. Founder of Zenith High and creator of Spirit Flow shamanic study programs. She studied with unparalleled shamanic teachers in the United States for over 30 years. So help me welcome Dr. Mary Newstrom.
Thank you. Thank you, Ella. I want to, first of all, just start out by thanking you for inviting me. I love coming to Lake Harriet and sharing information with you and your feedback. So I really appreciate the invitation. A little bit more about me is I've been spiritual and a spiritual seeker like many of you here all my life. And some of you who have attended my talks previously know that I grew up Catholic, and in some ways that really gave me a foundation to understand that's not what I wanted, that dogma, and to continue seeking a spirituality that really matched where energetically I was. And with that, dove into energy healing. I got attuned to Reiki in the 80s, started working with my guides in the 80s, really then dove deeper into earth-based spirituality, and found that shamanism was really something that resonated with me because of its connection and its understanding that we're all interconnected. Now, I think it's easy to think, well, we're all interconnected here in this room, and then with our pets. But to even go further, of course, is we're all interconnected with nature and the earth and water and air and so on. And I love the theme that was mentioned too, is really the discussion that we are energetically, also what we put out really is what we're creating as well. So we create our reality, we create our experiences. So that's what really brought me to shamanism, was my connection with nature and understanding that we're creating really the reality. I also have a background, I'm a master naturalist, so it was a natural thing for me to have that gravitate towards that. Now the theme for this month at Lake Harriet Spiritual Community is let the light shine, or what my discussion is, I titled it How to Be a Beacon of Hope for People. And so that's really an extension of how to let your light shine. And my thoughts on how to let your light shine, how does a person do that? And I think one of the key ways to be that light, that hope for others, is being your authentic self. And in some ways, that is actually the easiest way to do it. Now, it's challenging. It's sometimes challenging to be your authentic self, but if you think about it, it's like, well, if you're really truly who you are, then you don't have to modify anything, you don't have to change anything. So being your authentic self, I think, is one of the key things for letting your light shine. The next one on the list, once again, is going to sound maybe a little bit more challenging, but it does lead to that being that beacon of hope, is living your soul's purpose. If you can live your soul's purpose and be your authentic self, you're going to be presenting to the world as bright and shiny, right? And you might be able to think back of some people you know that are living their authentic soul's purpose. How do they appear to you? Well, they appear probably in alignment, in harmony and union with the divine, which the byproduct of that is being that beacon of hope, that bright and shiny person. So living your soul's purpose, being your authentic self, Also then, with that is leaning into your own gifts. What does that mean? A lot of times I'll talk about staying in my lane, understanding what you're good at. Doesn't mean that you can't do things that you're learning, but if you are living your authentic self, you're leaning into your soul's purpose, also then looking at what are those things that resonate with you that also make you unique in the fact that you are leaning into what your real gifts are. And I think that really highlights, it will come through with your authentic self. Being present not only in yourself, but for others. That is how you can let your light shine, is being present, listening to people, actively listening to people, and being present in your own life will help you also lead more of an authentic life and tap into, well, what is your soul's purpose? What I want to do right now is take us through a short grounding meditation, because I think that with the crazy energy that's going around, I think that's what leads us to not shining brightly, is we're muddled with all the other energy. So at this point, just find a comfortable position. And if you want to feel the ground, maybe your feet are on the ground, on the floor. And just rest your hands softly across your lap or wherever they feel comfortable. Take a deep breath, filling up your lungs. Just pausing when you do that and then slowly exhaling it. We'll do that for a few minutes. That rhythm of breath, in and out, really becoming one with the element of air. We're feeling the element of ground beneath our feet. Now bring your awareness to your feet and notice how they feel making contact with the floor. Become aware of any sensation in the toes and the soles of your feet. And imagine that there's roots growing from your feet deep, deep into the ground. You could even imagine or visualize those roots going so deep they're now wrapping around boulders down in the central earth. Gently move your attention up through your body. So starting with your feet, sense your legs, noticing any tension. Allow your awareness to rise through and up your hips, your lower back, releasing any tension. I know I hold a lot of tension there, so release any tension. Then into your chest, continuing breathing deeply and releasing anything that's tight or you're feeling tension. Focus now on your shoulders. With the inhale, feel them rising slightly, and with each exhale, imagine letting go of any weight or tension or burden that you're feeling. Move your attention up to your neck, gently releasing any tightness. Finally, bring your focus to your head. Relax your jaw. Let your tongue rest in your mouth and soften the space around your eyes and forehead. With each breath, allow your mind to clear and settle. Couple more deep breaths. When you're ready, slowly bring your awareness back to the room, wiggling your fingers and toes and coming back. And we all know that this type of grounding exercise is a great way to tap into the divine, tap into your authentic self and your soul's purpose. and to give you grounding so that when you, and more sure of a footing when you go out into the world, because there's lots of energy that's coming at us. So the topic today that I named it is how to be a beacon of hope for others. And what does that mean? It means focusing on actively demonstrating positivity. So not a fake positivity, because there's some discussion out there, right? That and maybe in our communities it's too much of that. So it's obviously, though, I'm going to give you an example where this was an authentic spin of something that was negative, that my mother, when she was alive, in 2016, 17, would call me and say, "Oh my God, Mary, there's all this stuff going on." And you know how it is, people spiraling out of control, they're going down the rabbit hole. And at that time, I could have said, "Yep, you're right, there is a lot going on." But I wanted to stop the spinning of going down, so what I said, and this was authentic, this is an example how to stay positive, is that I said, I know a lot of people, light workers. I probably didn't use that word for her, but something to the equivalent. I know a lot of light workers, people that are working for good, and it's all going to be okay. And she stopped the spiral down, and that was enough to kind of break it. So my point is that if you want to be a beacon of hope, authentic positivity. So this is a fun fact, doesn't have anything to do with my talk per se, but she's crossed over, she's transitioned, and what she's communicated, she came back and said, "Mary, what you told me about the light is absolutely 100% correct. The light, all of us here, is going to overcome the darkness in the world." So I thought that was interesting. So being a beacon of hope, focusing actively and demonstrating positivity. Also kindness. Kindness to each other, kindness to ourselves, but also kindness to a stranger. You never know what the other person is going through, or even a simple hello, holding a door. So kindness is a beacon of hope, because when people are reflecting back on their day or whatever, their week, you might be the highlight. And you held the door, or you said hello or wished them a good day. It doesn't take much to really impact people, and we forget that. Now, also, so that's where being a beacon of hope, I'm not talking about standing up and, professing things. I'm saying one-on-one. So kindness, authentic positivity. Supporting other people through our actions and words. Now this, how to be a beacon of hope, it's really important if you're going to speak things to also follow up. Because the fact that, I like the saying, watch what they do, not what they say. That's really telling. And you want to be a beacon of hope to others by they can look at you and they can see your actions. You're not just all talk. It's important to be supportive for people, but also doing kind actions, being authentic with your actions. Actively listening to other people. And I've noticed that sometimes when I'm talking or I'm interacting with people, it's natural that we want to talk about our issues and what our problems are, and But it really is important that we're listening to other people and lending that support. That's how you can be a beacon of hope. How you can let your light shine is that it's an exchange, it's a relationship, so you're listening to someone as they're listening to you. And I hope what's coming across is you want this to be authentic, and you're not just listening to people, but you're also being listened to. So it's an authentic relationship that you're creating here, co-creating with the other person or society or world or animals as well. You want to be a source of encouragement and optimism in the lives of those around you. So practicing key practicing genuine kindness, authentic kindness to others, being a positive influence, offering encouragement, being a good listener. And some of the things about being a good listener are really being able to repeat back what people are saying, leaning in, and really being there to be support. Even if you can't solve the problem. We've all probably been there where someone's talking to us and we're like, ooh, we can't solve the problem. Sometimes resolving that issue is just the person talking through it, right? Just talking through it and letting that energy, because we were talking about energy before, that energy being released. That is a big component of all this. Being a beacon of hope is also sharing your struggles, your challenges. It could be really easy for me to stand up in here and say, you know what, I don't have any challenges. And that would be a lie. That would not be authentic. So being a beacon of hope, letting your light shine, is also sharing your story. Sharing your story because people, they look up to people that seem to have lived a real life. Because we identify with people that maybe have struggled with the same things we are or something similar. And being able to share your story of how you overcame it or how you're dealing with it is very, very much leading into being authentic. And you know, a lot of times, your soul's purpose is to be able to share that experience, right? So, and when I talk about soul's purpose too, I'm not talking about necessarily, being someone that they're going to write the history books about. It could be that way. But it also means your soul's purpose could be simply in the fact that you're leading your authentic self in life, you're sharing your story, and you're becoming a beacon of hope for others. Being present and supportive, showing up for other people when they need you most. So what that means too is, well, I'm sure many of you have heard this term, fair weather friend or fair weather fan. So it's also not necessarily always being just there when it's convenient. To be a beacon of hope, you also want to check in when the person may need you most. Leading by example, that's everything I've been talking about. So to be a beacon of hope, let your light shine, the way you do that is you lead by example, which is leaning into your authentic self and your soul's purpose. Saying that, it is still challenging and hard work. So I'm being honest here. And if you get off track, it's starting again. So it's leaning into these things. You somehow get derailed and you start again. I just was talking to my students this morning, and and I just told them this too, if we were all perfect, if we had figured everything out and we didn't have any challenges, we wouldn't be here. We would have transcended. So you have to think about that. If you were perfect, you wouldn't be here. We're here because we're imperfect and we're working on resolution. I'm not even going to say becoming perfect because that's going to get nowhere. So obviously down the line and maybe many lifetimes, that's a different conversation, of course, we will become so bright and shiny we transcend. But at this point, you're here because you're learning things. So you're leading by example. Coming today, coming to this, watching it on the live stream, watching the replay, that's leading by example. because you're here. The other thing is, with shamanism, we believe in our spirit guides. So many people call them guardian angels. They're essentially the same thing. Your guardian angels, your spirit guides, are noting all of this. They take notes. And they're like, and so you may not know who they are. Oh, but they know who you are. And right now, they're noticing that you're here. And so in their little book, I don't know if they have a book, let's say they do. In their little book, they're writing great effort. We're seeing them leaning in. They have intention. That goes a long way. They're looking for you to try, to have effort. That's what they're looking for. So you will get great rewards by trying. You're not going to be perfect. I'm not perfect. You're not going to be perfect. If we were perfect, remember, the response would be we'd have transcended. But they're writing down, they're noting. And so when you do have conversations with them, if you happen to know your guides, they're going to be saying great effort. That's what we're looking for. That's how you're a beacon of hope. That's how you let your light shine, with the intention to do your best every day. And with that, people will see that, and they'll be like, well, I wonder what they're doing. That makes them so different. And people might not be able to put that in words of like vibration or bright and shiny, because they might not understand any of that. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. But they will notice something is different. Something is different with you. The other thing is, as you know, your intentions, and you're working to be as authentic as you can and live your soul's purpose, and your spirit guides are noting that and they're applauding you. You also want to be mindful of your words and what you are putting into the universe. Abracadabra means, as I speak, I create. Poof. And that's what happens every day for us. As we speak, as we think, our actions, we create. And we might not see the rewards right now, but they're being created. So once again, you being here, you leaning in to your spirituality is creating the opportunity for you to be connected in union and harmony with the divine. So as you speak, you want to be conscious of what you're seeding into the universe. Saying I like is, what I feed grows. What you feed grows. And if you're feeding positivity and effort, I'm going to be my authentic self, that's what's going to grow. But if you're feeding the other parts of that, that's what's going to grow. And you might not see the connection right away, but it's there. And we create our reality. We're creating our world, and we create it starting now. And with sometimes what we manifest comes quickly to us, and other times it might be, wow, it might take years, but we are creating all that. So to be a beacon of hope, to let your light shine, you also want to be mindful of what you're saying and try to catch that. One technique that I have, if something, frustrating has happened to me or bad, what I do is I say to myself, there's another way of looking at this. There's another way of looking at this. So you're flipping those tapes to, well, what is the other way? Lessons, overcoming challenges. So when something is frustrating or something bad has happened to you, what's the other way of looking at it? That will flip that energy that's going out there into more of a positive. I want to lead us through another meditation. Now, this one, if you've attended my other workshops here or talks, one thing's that my guide, so I've been working with my primary guide since '82. He came to me in a dream, and I was a kid at the University of Minnesota, college kid. So I was going through normal college things, and he came to me and just said, hey, work on your own stuff. Don't worry about things. And at that time, too, around campus, I can remember someone came up to me and said, hey, there's this workshop happening. I think you're going to really like it. And it was Reiki, being attuned to Reiki. So I've had to kind of reflect back. Those are the only things I really remember. Like, I must have been talking to people about this stuff because, I got invited to the Reiki attunement. For people that have gone through any of that energy work, nothing really happened. No bells and whistles. But I still continued working with the energy, and now I'm a Reiki master. What my guides have, as we've been working together, and then I've added some more guardian angels, guides, and so on, my main point that I wanted to get at is they allow me to open a doorway for you to go through to go into a different dimension. And nothing to be scared about. With shamanic work, we believe there's different dimensions. And if you think about it, in this room, we already know there's things here we can't see, like radio waves, right? I think there's some particular colors you can't see. And when you get older, what do they say? You can't hear different pitches? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we already agree there's things in this room we can't see. Taking that one step further, of course, also spiritually. And probably about 5 years ago, my guides were like, we can allow people that you're talking to feel the love and the energy of the divine by walking through this doorway. So we're going to use that, we're going to do that exercise. And like I said, I've done this before, but it's a little bit different for this talk. I'm going to take you through the doorway so that you can experience and understand or feel your true essence, who you truly are, how the divine sees you. Now, saying that, I'm going to also say that everybody here experiences energy differently. So there's going to be someone that's like, Mary, I saw Christ himself. And then there's going to be people that said, very little happened. So it's a continuum. All of it is okay, because how you experience this meditation is going to be exactly how you're meant to experience it. That's the other great thing about the universe is it meets you where you're at. And by the way, nothing's better or worse than the other one. The person that says to me, I didn't get much, but I got a little. There's no hierarchy. There's no like, ooh, someone's better than someone else. So just know that when I guide you on this, be aware that some of you might see colors, you might feel a tingling, you might not, it might be so subtle, like right this second, you might say, nothing happened, Mary, but then maybe later on, you'll feel it. So I keep that in mind. Now, the way I do it is I first take us to what's called the blessing field. It's like a prairie, a Minnesota prairie. So nothing weird there. So Minnesota prairie. And then I take us into what I call the enchanted forest. Nothing weird there too. A lot of cool trees and so on. And then we're going to go to what's called the tree of light. It's the energy of a tree that I've worked with. And we then will be there for a little bit as the universe shows you your true essence, which could be simply just a bright light. Maybe it'll form like a spirit animal. We'll see what happens. How does that sound? Okay, let's go to it. All right. So everyone take a few deep breaths. And if you know how to drop those grounding cords, go ahead and drop the grounding cords. And I want everyone to visualize. And also, before I start, you do have to use your imagination, and sometimes people get hung up with, I'm making this up. Just relax into that. What will happen is if you relax into it, Spirit will take you along on a great journey. So drop your grounding cords, take a few deep breaths. I want everyone to imagine there's a doorway in front of you. And as you energetically feel yourself standing up and walking through that doorway, close it behind you, and you're now into a beautiful prairie. I call it the blessing fields. And it's a beautiful day. It's exactly the temperature you like. So if you really like it hot, it's really hot. If you don't like it so hot, not as much. There's a little breeze. You're smelling the wildflowers. You might be hearing songbirds, the ones that hang out in our prairies. Maybe some goldfinch and chirping. We're just taking it in. But as you energetically look right, that's where our enchanted forest is. And that's where we're going to go get a glimpse of our true essence. And as we're walking towards our enchanted forest, and you notice that there's a path on the left and a path on the right, we're taking the one on the right. And as we walk into the forest, whoosh, temperature drops. It's still comfortable though. And now we might be smelling pine and evergreen. We might be hearing the woodpeckers or the hoot of an owl. Crunch, crunch, crunch beneath our feet. And as we're rounding on our path, we can see a glowing tree. You might want to just look at that tree and how's it presenting to you? What type of tree? But it's glowing and it has tremendous healing energy that's coming from it. Go ahead and make your way up to the tree. And if you feel you have permission, you can climb up it. You can merge with it. Or you can just hang by its roots. And now we're in a different dimension, so there is no physical limitations. So sitting on the ground, climbing, just hanging out, everybody here can do all of that. We're now becoming one with the tree of light, and it's now cleansing us. It's releasing things no longer serving us. But what is also happening is we can see in front of the tree that the formation, there is your true essence is being shown to you through the tree of light. Who you truly are, so you can lead an authentic, purposeful life. And that true essence may be a high frequency of energy, colors. It may be actually manifesting as a guide. So you're taking it in, you're experiencing it. You're allowing it to come into you so that you have full awareness of it. And as you are letting it come in and your awareness, it might be just a knowing of how much you're loved. Because your true essence, we're all one. We're loved unconditionally. We're all here to be our authentic self. Just another minute or two in this energy of the tree of light, in your true essence. Maybe it's giving you a little bit more insight of how to go forward, or just accepting where you're at. That's living your soul's purpose. Being right where you are right now is living your soul's purpose. And at this point, what we want to do is if you merged with the tree, detach yourself. If you've climbed up the tree, kind of come down. If you're interacting with a being or energy, you might want to show it gratitude. Our guides love to be thanked as well. They want to help, and you need to ask them for help, but they love the gratitude and being thanked. So we're thanking the energy, we're thanking the tree of light. We're starting to make our way out on our path. And you might be seeing something new because now you've had a new awakening. There might be energy along the path, or there might be an animal, possibly your spirit animal. All that is, a spirit animal, simply a guardian angel that's in the form of an animal. We're making our way along the trail. We're now out in the blessing fields. We're just letting that sun to warm us all up on this cold day, bringing it into our heart. Imagine, visualize that doorway, opening it up, closing it behind you. Imagine yourself energetically coming back in your body, disengaging from non-ordinary reality, further disengaging, fully disengaged, you're back in your body now. Welcome back, everyone. And if you're, just make sure you're back in your body. If you're not, just retrace those steps, making sure you come through the door and then energetically come back in your body. What you got from this experience, before I forget, you are welcome to go back into the blessing field and the enchanted forest. Thousands of people visit that. It is infused with divine energy, with healing energy. Since now you've gone through that portal, you're able to get back to it. Just do it the way I did it. It's very simple. But that information is for you to use. And you might not have gotten anything that you're like, hey, Mary, here's A, B, C. It might be more of a knowing or a sensing. And I hope all of you, though, did get the feeling, the sensing or knowing how the universe really loves you and wants you to be the best you can be, wants you to lean in and like I said, effort. They're looking for effort. Let's all try to be the best we can. And when we stumble, we pick ourselves up, we help other people, and we pick them up too, and we continue down that path of effort. I'm going to wrap up and I want to see if there's any questions, but there's more information about my programs at a table out here for people. But thank you so much once again for inviting me. I really enjoy talking to you. Thank you. Any questions or feedback from the meditations?
Well, I don't have a question, but just an observation when you were talking about being your authentic self and sharing your stories. That requires some self-confidence and the willing to be vulnerable too.
Yeah.
So, the other observation I made, you were talking about, what was it? I wrote it down, and it tied so nicely into what we were talking about this morning. Oh, when you said, when we encounter things to say to ourselves, there's another way of looking at this. Mm-hmm. And so that's helping to reprogram our thoughts and our beliefs and our feelings. And so that tied real nicely into what we talked about this morning. Mm-hmm. So I'm always amazed at the synchronicities between the two services. So, any other questions? Oh, all right, I'll come to you.
So towards the beginning, you talked about the importance of being our authentic self and tuning into our soul's purpose. So just any tips on tuning into our soul's purpose?
You know what, that is a challenge for people, and that's why I use the word trying and, leaning into that. But a lot of times people do talk to me about, well, I don't know what my soul's purpose is. The thing I want to reassure you is you just working on it is your soul's purpose. Being right here, right now, you're living it. I think one way to think about the soul's purpose or why we're here, I would think it would be interacting with the world with kindness and loving and being gentle and compassionate to others. You can't go wrong with that soul's purpose. But for others, you might get more input like, hey, I'm supposed to write a book or I'm supposed to do this. But I want to reassure everyone too, by you just being here and focused on that, you're living your soul's purpose. Yeah. Thanks for that question.
Another question?
Thank you. Can we think of our spirit guides in part as a vibrational frequency?
Sure. If that, your spirit guides, animals, guardian angels will present themselves to you in a way that resonates with you. So if that is where you're at with more vibration frequency, 100% yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Anybody else? Okay.
I'm reminded from some of the other speakers and stuff, that when you're trying to be your authentic self, to listen to your intuition. Mm-hmm. If you could speak to that a bit, and then explain more about abracadabra. I learned a new
abracadabra.
A new translation.
Yeah, sure. Absolutely. I mean, authentic self, soul's purpose. You know, your intuition. We usually think of the intuition in the gut. And we usually think of more like psychic or other stuff maybe in the third eye. But that's a good way to check in too. It's like, am I on the right path? And what are your instincts telling you? So that is key. The other thing, of course, is developing a practice that maybe you could tap into your guardian angel spirit guides for more guidance as well. So that would take it a little bit further step. And that is very doable. I mean, when I started doing this more on a public level, remember, I've been working with my guides since the 80s. I was just really shocked that people are able to really maneuver this world without having their guardian angel right there. So and there are books out there how to do shamanic journeying. I teach it. And what it is it's tapping into your guides and then really working on the interpretation. But for now, yes, what's your instinct? What's your gut telling you? Your gut instinct telling you? That would be intuition. Abracadabra. So that goes more back to what we feed grows. Because of the fact that the thought is we're creating our own reality. So some of this has a prevalence, you have to kind of believe in this. So if you think you're creating your own reality, the way you're creating it is with the energy of your words. And then, of course, how you're interpreting things as well. And the idea is that in the morning, that you might want to do a mantra. That is, once again, and I consider it seeding the future. So you're seeding the energy. Like, I am loved, I am successful, I'm fulfilled. Would be then doing that abracadabra of, as I speak, I create. And sometimes I've seen people manifest very quickly, and meaning, so they're doing those exercises, and in 6 months, they'll come to me and say, I've achieved everything I wanted to. I have my students do a 3-year plan. And that's when so do a 3-year plan. What do you want to create over 3 years? And the reason why 3 years is it's long enough that we're not feeling rushed. But if you focus on that 3-year plan and really kind of maybe visualize it or send it energy and then tell the universe, I'd like this or something better, you will be able to manifest that. And the reason why we end with, I'd like this or something better, is because it's our limitations that hold us back. We don't even know the possibilities. So let the universe bring in that abundance or bring in that authentic self. Does that answer your question?
Yeah. What language did that come
Oh, that's Arabic.
Arabic?
Yeah. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
All right.
Something occurred to me when you talk about people transitioning when they're perfect.
Yeah.
I had 3 people transition last year, 2 from car accidents and 1 from succumbed to cancer. So on some level, it doesn't appear that they were shiny and whatever. How do you explain that?
That would be, well, that is different than what I'm talking about, is when I talk about, so to answer that question, have to be in reincarnation, which I do, they are going on to their next type of experience. So they're not bright and shiny. When I talked about, if we were perfect, we wouldn't be coming back. And you would be able to, an example could be like maybe a Buddha type or Christ-like. They're not going to come back because they have karma. Those individuals more than likely had karma, and they're coming back in another lifetime.
Perfect. Yeah, and they all believed in reincarnation, so yes.
They're
thank
coming
you.
back. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's about that time. Now I've got that song stuck in my head. Do you all remember that song? Abra, abra, cadabra. So now you've got it in your heads too. Yeah, it was. All right. Well, thank you.
Thank you.
All right, some good things to reflect on. Well, I like to shift gears and talk about being grateful for this space. And one way to show gratitude for this space is through offerings. In Lake Harriet Spiritual Community, one of our primary sources of income are generous donations. And your donations help us keep the lights on, keep the doors open so that we can bring back inspirational speakers and have great events. And I've tell everybody that I've been coming here since the early 90s, and then in the early 2000s made this my spiritual home, because most of my pivotal spiritual growth experiences or aha moments happened here, either by listening to a speaker, talking to someone after services, or coming to one of the healing events. So it's a great place to be no matter where you are on your spiritual journey. So ushers will be passing the baskets if you can give what you can give today. There's Venmo QR codes in the basket, and maybe you can become a regular donor by going to our website. There's a mechanism to become a regular donor. So thank you for what you can give. All right. Did you need help, John?
I'm not right, you're not wrong. We both know what this love of ours
Thank you, Gary. That was a nice song about the light. Kind of ties everything together for today. So thank you for not playing that other song I was thinking about. All right. No. Really? Oh, wow. How about that? Abracadabra. All right. So if you could help bless these offerings by repeating after me. God's perfect love flowing through me blesses and multiplies all that I give, all that I receive, and all that I am. Oh. All right. So as our tradition lends us, at the end of each service, we'll circle up and Dr. Newstrom will lead us into a closing ceremony. I think we have enough to just circle up around the middle section. Starting in the back. Cool. Yep.
Stretch. Oh.
Yep. Oh, cool.
Wow.
You can do it.
All the way around.
All right. You can do it.
Yeah.
Yay.
Big group.
Yep, big group.
Okay.
Awesome.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you once again for inviting me. In closing, we want to thank our guardian angels, our spirit guides, spirit animals. We want to thank the energy of earth, fire, wind, and air, the spirits of the trees, the spirits of the plants, the energy and the spirit of this place, this building. Everything's interconnected, and we appreciate that. And we show a lot of gratitude and thankfulness towards that. We close the ceremony with love and light. We close the ceremony with love and light. We close the ceremony with love and light. Our work for now is done. Aho. Aho. All right. Thank you, everyone.